Hello, my name is Brigadier General John. I am the leader of the 12th Infantry Regiment, also known as the Prussians of Battlegrounds. You might have played with us, you might have had a match against us because you're with another regiment. You might be a subscriber, you might have checked out our website or our YouTube films or something else or interacted with us somehow, but you're here, and I want to thank you for that. This film is about our regiment history. Now, in our regiment, all of our members have the access to our regiment history and its basics. And I thought it would be nice if I could make a video or a film about our regiment history for you to enjoy, for the public, if you want to hear it. Now, I can't tell the whole bloody tale because it's a big ass history, and since our regiment has existed since 2006, it's a pretty long story with a lot of ups and downs, as most regiments go through. But I thought about making a part, at least, where I firstly talk about the background history and how it all began. And based on the feedback I get on this video, I might make a part 2, depending on how people enjoy this. So, let's just dive into it then. I'm gonna split this up in chapters for people to pay attention more and make it easier for you to follow through. I've always thought our history is pretty exciting and interesting, and that's why I thought, why not just make a video out of it? So let's begin. I hope you enjoy. So chapter 1, the rise of the 9th Infantry Regiment. The story begins back in the summer of 2006. Battlegrounds 2, BG2, the predecessor of Battlegrounds 3, BG3, and the successor of Battlegrounds 1, BG1, is ruling the battlefields. The game itself is enormously popular, and there are over 30 clans regiments-ish in total. Numbers of players in the servers are also high at all times. Our regiment story begins with a German man called Shepard. He would, together with some friends called Jan, Destinate, and Shadow, found the 9th Preußisches Infanterie Regiment with the regiment tag 9 Infantry, as we are using it right now, but with a 12 instead. They based this regiment on a real Prussian regiment that fought in the Napoleonic Wars and earlier and beyond. Just like our regiment, the 12th Infantry Regiment. But that story comes later. Shepard would later name these 3 friends of his officers, so they would be 4 leaders together. They then would become one of the first ever German regiments in the game, and they would also grow to become one of the biggest German regiments in the game, which was pretty amazing. Jan, one of Shepard's closest officers, he made sure to make all the maps for the regiment, and all the custom maps was pretty good. The training map that we're using right now in Battlegrounds 3 in the 12th Infantry was actually one of them, which is also pretty interesting. They would then get very powerful through their line battles, skirmishes, and other events and trainings. The 9th Infantry would also get a good reputation for hosting some very big public line battles. And they would also play it on their custom-made maps. One of them was called 9 Infantry Schlesien, which was a very, very big and interesting map with fortifications and a lot of open ground. So it was given a pretty good critic for its design. I still have a lot of our custom maps, and I have counted around 20 to 30 custom maps that I have located on my computer. Some of them needs remapping and fixes. Chapter 2. I'm gonna name it Brigadier General John and the Double R's. Here I'm gonna talk a little bit about my history and how I came into it all, and how it began. So I started playing Battlegrounds 2 in 2007. In other words, 1 year after the 9th Infantry was founded by Shepard and his officers. I would then first join a clan called the Double R's, the TDR, which was also one of the oldest clans in Battlegrounds 2. I would get recruited by a man who is now in the 12th Infantry Regiment, called Sergeant Daniel. This clan would in the end go down and die because of inactivity. I took leadership in this regiment after the main leader, called Smithy, would leave because of his inactivity. I controlled the server for our regiment for a long time and made sure we did a lot of trainings and a couple of matches together. I would also name a couple of members to become my officers and help me out, and some of these were Morgan, Heinz, Kantame, Monkey, and Choco. You can say I was in the clan for only some months until I actually became leader, which was insane. But the TDR was up and running for about 2 years, up until the end of 2008. And at this point I started to have less time for the game, and all of the other officers decided that it was time to disband the clan because of the inactivity. I didn't want it to end because I had a lot of dedication towards this regiment or clan, but in the end it dissolved, and many of our members then went to other regiments and clans, and some left the game completely. I myself started playing the game even further at some point and wanted to join another clan or regiment, and that was when I would find the 9th Infantry Regiment. Chapter 3. The 9th Infantry Regiment change. After getting to know the 9th Infantry as well as playing a lot with them in skirmishes, events, public line battles and such, I joined them. Unfortunately, the leaders of the 9th Infantry had decided around the new year of 2009 to switch game, moving from Battlegrounds 2 to Resistance and Liberation, RNL, which is another Half-Life 2 modification, but based on World War II. The members in the regiment had mixed feelings about this, as the leaders did not listen 100% to what their members wanted themselves. I gave it a try and I joined them in this new game, but not long after I would also be given a leader position to lead the English-speaking members. As this regiment was a German-Prussian regiment, where 90% was German members, I would be given the squad leader command for an English-talking squad. Me having a reputation for leading the TDR clan earlier came in handy, as we then would have one German-speaking squad and one English-speaking squad. I would play and stay with them for a couple of months until I just became pretty tired of the game. I played Battlegrounds 2 on the side and enjoyed that much more, of course. And this led up to me finally deciding that 9th Infantry belongs to Battlegrounds 2 and not Resistance and Liberation. I would then discuss this in the regiment with the leaders and members. Once again, this was a mixed feeling discussion. Many of them decided that they want to stay in Resistance and Liberation, but some disagreed and missed the old days, the maps, the matches and all the fun that only Battlegrounds 2 could give us. Shepard, the leader of the 9th Infantry, said no, and he also changed the regiment tag to, instead of 9 EFTR, to 9 Reg, which I didn't like either, as I wanted it to be original. I then decided to leave the regiment and reform the 9th Infantry once more in Battlegrounds 2 under new leadership. This happened around the 10th of November 2009. Destinet and Jan, two of the main leaders, would also leave Resistance and Liberation and rejoin the 9th Infantry in Battlegrounds 2 instead, which was a true honor for me. This would then lead up to the continuation of the 9th Infantry in the Battlegrounds 2 history. Chapter 4. The Reformed 9 Infantry. So I reformed the 9 Infantry for Battlegrounds 2 together with a good friend called Captain Lieutenant Robert as the second leader. It was us two combined with the help of Jan as third leader and Destinate as fourth leader. We did not do matches for some time as we mainly focused on growing in numbers and training. That has also always been a focus in the 12th Infantry, that we focus a lot on trainings. We were trying to become a close community like we are today instead of rushing into several battles right away. Amongst these reformed 9 Infantry members we received was veterans of the old 9 Infantry that was tired of resistance and liberation, of course, and missed Battlegrounds 2. But we also did get a lot of veterans from the disbanded TDR clan, and lastly, of course, the new members from the game itself, because we started recruiting pretty heavily. We also did get a lot of veterans from the 80s Corps R, which was a German Battlegrounds 2 regiment that was founded pretty quickly after the 9 Infantry was disbanded to Resistance and Liberation. We would then grow even further in time and improve greatly in game, as Jan, he provided us with all the old 9 Infantry maps. We had several ways to train. We would then at some point start doing matches again and greatly increase our reputation once more. At some point, my second leader, Captain Lieutenant Robert, did not have much time for the game, so he retired. But he is still active from time to time within our community, up until this day, mainly as support. Later also Jan and Destinate would have to step down as leaders due to match inactivity, and left in the end because of real-life situations. This led to me leading alone for some months until I promoted a man called Eagle to join as my second leader, and a guy called Martini as my third leader. Eagle being a dedicated German, and same with Martini being Finnish, we would lead the regiment into prosperity for months, up until the mid of April 2010, the month of the big vote and decision. Thank you for listening to the beginning of the story of the 9th Infantry and the 12th Infantry coming up. I'm gonna stop the story here. If you're interested in hearing the continuation of this story as a part 2, please comment it or give us a feedback by liking the video, and I will probably make a continuation if there is interest of this. That would be a chapter 5. So once again, thank you for listening into the story of our regiment, or the background story of how it all began, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out our other videos if you're interested in that, and enjoy our channel as you please, and I hope to see you in the follow-up story if that happens.